creatives, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be making this cute little purse you're seeing on your screen. It's so beautiful, it's so lovely, it's so cute. So it's something you can put your phone, you can go out with, and the materials you can use are materials you can get around. You can use a jean material, you can use an Ankara fabric. So if it's something you would like to learn, let's get right into it. Okay, welcome back. So we are going to be making that cute little purse you just saw on your screen. So these are the materials I'll be using. I'll be using a jean material. This is a jean material. It's jeans material, demi. You can call it demi material. Yeah. So this is what I'll be using, and I'm using a doll face for my lining. Sorry, I'm using white. This is what I have available here. So these are the materials we'll be using. So let's get right into the measurements. Okay, so the body of the bag, it's 9.5 inches by 8 inches. 8 inches, 9.5 inches. This is 9.5 inches by 8 inches width, and I cut out 2, and I went ahead to iron a wording to it. You can see it's a very soft wording, so I just iron it just to give it a little firmness. You understand? You can see I don't even have enough, so I just ironed it to the 2 pieces I cut out just to give it a little firmness. And I cut out the lining also 2, same measurements with this, 9.5 inches by 8 inches. So if you're using the same fabric, you can cut out 4. So because I'm not using the same fabric, I cut out 2 for the body of the bag and 2 for the lining. Now the next measurement is the pocket. We are going to be putting a pocket. So this is the pocket, and I have 8 inches by 6.5 inches. 8 inches by 6.5 inches for this. And the next measurement I have here, the next piece I have here is for the flap. That's the cover of the bag. Let me call it the cover, the flap or the cover. So this is what I have. Okay, I need to cut it into 2. So it should be 2, not 1. So the measurement I have is 5.5 inches by 9 and quarter. It's supposed to be 9.5, but this is 9 and quarter. What we need is 8, but by the time we sew it, we are going to be sewing it, so the allowance, the remaining inches, is for the allowance. So I went, after cutting it, I went ahead, I just fold it, and I curved this edge. I just curve it, so you just curve it. Then the handle, here is the handle, and I have 54 inches, 54 inches by 2 inches, sorry, 54 inches by 2 inches. So all I'll do for this, I'll just take it to the sewing machine. I'll fold in this side, then fold it again like so. Then I'll sew all the way down, just like this. I'll sew it all the way down to the end. You can see I'll keep arranging, folding, then sew it all the way down. So that's for this. Then the next thing I have here is the clip to hold the flap and the bag together, so it does not keep opening anyhow. So this is what I have. The people selling bag, they sell it, and this is the cover. So we are going to be fixing this to it also. So let's start sewing. So the first thing we are going to sew now is to take this to the sewing machine. That is the pocket. I'll take it to my sewing machine. I'll first sew this part. I'll just sew it just to keep it in place. As you can see, it's on fold, so I'll just sew it just to keep it in place. Then after sewing, I'm going to bring, let me keep the lining aside first. I'm going to bring this, and I'll put this on it. I'll put the pocket on it like this, just like this. Then I'll sew 4 corners like this, so I'll have a pocket here. I hope you understand. I'll just sew it this way, so I have a pocket here. So let me do that and bring it. So I've gone ahead to sew it. This is what I mean. I just stitch down, then I sew all the way like this. So here is the pocket. So the next thing I'm going to do is to put this on it like this. So I'll sew like so, like so, like so. So I've gone ahead to sew all the way, and also the flap I sew this way. Please, you follow your curve and sew, then you bring it out this way. The next thing we are going to do, you take this back to the sewing machine, you just watch what I'm doing. You just fold it this way. You fold it and you pin. You can see the way I fold it. Then the other side too, just open it like this, you see, then you pin. It's optional. If you don't want to pin, you can just take it to your sewing machine. So from this tip here, just measure 1.5 inches. Yes, you just measure 1.5 inches like this. You mark it. You mark your 1.5 inches. This is my 1.5 inches. So I'll just sew it. You come to this other side also. You measure your 1.5 inches from the top. Measure your 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches. So you sew it just like this. You sew it also just like this. Everything you are doing here, you repeat it also to the lining. Everything you are doing exactly the way you did this, you repeat it on the lining also. So I'm going to sew this and bring it back. So can you see I've gone ahead to sew it? So I'll just cut it off. We don't need it. I'll cut this too off. So you just turn it out. Turn your purse out. So this is what we have so far. So the next thing we are going to do now is to attach this to this place. So you just get the midpoint. Notch the midpoint. So this one also, you notch the midpoint. So midpoint to midpoint. You pin. So you sew down. Sew to this point. Sew to this point. So I'm going to sew this down to bring. So I've gone ahead to sew the lining also like this, like this, like this. And I also, just the way I did on the bag, I also sew these parts and sew these other parts also here also. So now the next thing I'm going to do now is to attach the handle. I'm gonna have to sew the handle. So all you just do is put it this way and you pin it. You have two options. Is either you put it and pin it and fix the lining. That's you. After pinning, you take it to your sewing machine and first hold it down, or you just go ahead and insert it into your lining like so. So you leave opening where you are bringing out the bag, remember. So put it inside. Then you pin side to side. This is one side, you pin this side. This is the other side, you pin. Then you sew all the way around. Just sew on your 1/2 inches allowance round. sew it round. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'll just sew it round and I'll bring it out from this place. So I'll be right back. So I've gone ahead to sew it round. Can you see? Okay, so the next thing I'll do now is to bring it out from this loop. Can you see this place also? Just exactly the way we did for the bodies. So I'll take my lining back to my machine. I will stitch it down. I'll just stitch it down just to close it. Then the next thing is to top stitch it all round. I'll top stitch it round. So you just put it on the machine and then you top stitch. You keep going, top stitch round. So I'm going to do that just to keep your lining in place, so your lining can stay permanently inside. Okay, let me go ahead and top stitch it. So I have gone ahead to top stitch. You see my top stitch, so I top stitch it round. So the next thing we are going to do is to fix our clip. Is it clip? Don't know the name. I guess it's clip. So I'm just going to get the midpoints of my flap. So here's the middle. So I'll just punch it side by side. Punch this way, punch this way. So I'll pick this. I'll insert it into the hole I punched. Just watch what I'm doing. Then I'll put the cover. I'll just press to this side and press to this side, and that's all for this. Then the second part, to get exactly where I want to put, I'm going to put a chalk here, mark here with chalk, then just cover it to where it gets to. So this is where I'm marking. So I'll just punch a hole here. If you have a soldering iron, you can use a soldering iron in case if your scissors is not as sharp as mine. So I'll just pick this, then I'll put it inside again. It's in. So you put your cover, bend to one side, bend to the other side. Make sure it's very tight, and that's it. So, and you just look for something to cover this place. I have a small trim here, so I'm just going to use it to cover here. I'll just cover it. And guys, we are done with our cute little bag. Isn't this bag cute? Huh? See, you can put your phone, your pen can stay here. In fact, you can put two phones. It contains two phones. Put things, just cover, and you're good to go. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.